What the hell was I thinking? Why did I buy this stuff? Oh, now I remember. God damn it, Steam. Yes, welcome to another Internet List show. My name's Nathan, and it's fair to say that I like to think I know quite a bit about video games. But that doesn't mean I haven't made mistakes in buying them in the past, especially when they're on a massive Steam sale. So today we're going to be taking a look at my top 5 Steam sale regrets. RYSE Son of Rome. Now, if you know anything about me as a gamer, you'll know that I prefer gameplay to graphics. And while I do love games that look great, graphics alone just aren't enough, and RYSE Son of Rome proves that point. The gameplay is extremely linear, 90% of enemies appear to be the exact same guy, and the story is ridiculously contrived and cliché. Also, it's a 24GB download, which means it took me ages to get gameplay for this one. Now granted, the game was probably hamstrung by being an Xbox One launch title and having to show off the graphical power of a new console, but some really basic mistakes were made, like the QuickTime events being literally impossible to fail. I'm not kidding here, if you don't press a single button in the QuickTime events, you'll still kill the enemy. I mean, I think they missed the point of games being interactive. Now this game's definitely not as bad as some of the other games we're going to have on this list, but I actually expected a lot from this one, and that's why it was so disappointing. It was a huge release with a lot of marketing, and it just totally let me down. Now it just sits there in my Steam library, taunting me. So RYSE Son of Rome was a launch title a lot of people take issue with, but number 4 on the list is actually held in very high regard by pretty much everyone who plays it. It just wasn't for me. Yes, it's Euro Truck Simulator, and I'm sure that this game is very enjoyable for a great number of people, but it's just not for me. In general, I don't enjoy games that simulate a job, because I already work during the week anyway. However, I was certainly swayed by positive reviews and the fact that I actually love driving in real life, so I thought it'd be fun to do the same thing in a game. As it turns out though, when I'm driving in a video game, I'd much rather be doing the stuff I can't do in real life, like racing expensive supercars in Project Cars, or running over pedestrians in GTA 5. Driving carefully and turning up reliably and on time just isn't that exciting to me. I did get a brief moment of enjoyment though when I found out that I could drive around a city where I lived a couple of years ago, but that enjoyment quickly went away when I realised how limited the recreations of the cities were, and I could have had a much better exploratory experience on Google Maps. So a good game that just wasn't designed for me. The next game, however, was made seemingly with me in mind. I mean, I love the concept, it's a great idea, and everything sounded great. It's just such a shame that the final game was such utter crap. Lords of Football. Anyone? No? Well, if you haven't heard of it, and who can blame you, it's a football management game crossed with The Sims, where you control every aspect of your players' lives and then manage them on game day, all in the pursuit of winning as many games as possible and finishing top of the league. Now to me, that sounds incredible. I love football management games, and getting control of every detail of your players' lives sounds like a lot of fun. Unfortunately though, you barely control anything, and the activities you can make players do are all pretty dull. On the management side of things, a lack of licenses and incredibly shallow tactics make for one of the worst sports management experiences I've ever had. Overall, this game looks bad and plays worse. Oh, and it runs like absolute crap. One thing you could say in Lords of Football's defense is that it had a pretty unique concept. It was trying to get out there and do something different. The next game in the list though was fairly generic, and in my opinion it tried to piggyback on the success of other games. Daylight. Now, I don't usually enjoy horror games anyway, but in this case that's a fairly irrelevant fact, because I never felt even slightly worried while playing Daylight. The game copies the trend of wandering around in a supposedly creepy place, picking up notes and finding objects to help you along the way, but the gameplay never seems to add the tension necessary to get the player immersed. One cool sounding aspect of the game was that it was going to be procedurally generated, and in theory that's great, but in practice it just meant that the areas were poorly designed. Honestly, I feel as though the entire game was designed to be played on YouTube, and although that is a decent business strategy, there still has to be something there for the average player, and in this case, I don't think there is. So after all of that, here we are down to my number one, my ultimate Steam sale regret, the one that I regret buying more than any other. Here it is in at number one. So number one, and it's a game that proves that just because a game is really cheap, it doesn't mean it's good value for money. Unearthed: The Trail of Ibn Battuta was designed to piggyback on the success of Uncharted, but unfortunately for the developers, the only thing that the two games had in common was the fact that their titles both start with the same two letters. Other than that, Uncharted surpasses it in every way. The gameplay of Unearthed was utter rubbish, the graphics appear to be from 2002, and there was just nothing to keep me interested. It's fair to say that if Steam refunds were available when I bought Unearthed, it wouldn't still be in my Steam library. But hey, it is an episodic game, so maybe when episode 2 comes out it'll all be worth it. And even though the game released in January 2014 and episode 2 isn't here, I wouldn't worry, I'm sure it's coming soon. So that's about it for today, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd be very grateful of a like down below. Let me know some of your Steam sale regrets in the comments, and subscribe for more like this if you haven't already. Before I go, I just want to quickly say sorry for the slight change in recording style today. I'm currently in the process of upgrading production with some new lighting, and maybe we'll use the green screen for these videos again soon, so hopefully that should be in place fairly quickly. Anyway, thanks for watching, I've been Nathan, and I'll see you next time.